Well, welcome back to the channel, as they say in YouTube land, and what a lovely evening. I'm down on the Humber, Old Hall, which used to be one of my favourite places ever. Brilliant place for catching cod in the winter, but it's got a little bit less friendly as time's gone on. So it is a bit of a walk. For one thing, you are on the mud at the bottom, then you're on the rocks, which isn't easy, and obviously if you're in a club match or something like that and you're walking back with a big bag of fish, it gets less appealing the older you get. However, what we're doing tonight is we are targeting bass. So I'm fishing in Mick Crawford's bass match, and we're just hoping to really, I'd just like to get a few fish, but there has been a few bigger fish caught down here just lately. I'm sorry, I've just got distracted. There's a beautiful marsh area being mobbed by an avocet just as we're flying past. Fantastic. A little bit of wildlife before we even get started. Anyway, back to fishing. So I'm targeting decent sized bass, so I'd be happy with anything over 60 centimetres, which is a good bass, no doubt about that. The target to beat, I think, in the match is 71 centimetres, so I think that is going to be a very, very big ass. That'll be must be approaching £8. Well, that marsh area is very, very close as it's just gliding by. Beautiful. Yeah, so I think being very optimistic, I might have a chance of a bigger one. And I could have gone in the sea tonight, but I think the sea's a little bit rough. I think there'll be loads of bass to be caught in the sea, but what I also think is that there'll be too many schoolies. I think it'll be full of small bass tonight. That's my thoughts. That's my predictions. So yeah, I'm not in a great deal of rush to get set up tonight, so I'm just taking my time and just sort of steadily waiting for the tide to fill. So what we've got is an up and down, an up and over pulley rig. So my snood's about 2.5 foot long, 25 pound amnesia. I've got a Sakuma 3.0 on the main hook, and I've got a 3.0 circle hook at the top, and I'm just going to be fishing with pure crab. I'll get one rod set up, see how it sort of sits in the tide, and if I'm happy with that, I'll get the second rod up. I'm going to fish with braid, I think it's 23 pound braid, and a tapered leader tonight. So we'll get baited up, we'll get cast out, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so I've just made my first cast, whacked it out as far as I can. I'm using the Cod Esuary, which is a lovely rod. Normally in winter time I would be hitting it as far out as I could, so I'd probably have my back caster set up. But I've got to like this Esuary, just with a really nice sort of lay back cast, just sort of a bit of an overhead sort of style, really nothing fancy. But I've put it out quite a decent way. It's sitting quite nicely in the tide. So I'll set my other rod up. I'll just give it 10 minutes just to make sure there's not too much run, or there's not any weed or anything like that. And then we'll sort of see how it goes. What I will do, we'll just have a little look at the actual venue itself. So Old Hall is man-made, basically. So when they reclaimed the land in the 1800s for farming, all of this sort of sea defence, if you like, was put here to stop the sea from flooding, because it used to go right back inland for maybe a mile, or if not more, collectively known as Sunk Island. So Sunk Island is predominantly set up for farming, so there's very few houses, very flat land. But what it has done, it's made a cracking fishing venue, because it gives us access to deep water quite easily. So I'm just chucking it off the top of the rocks at the moment. I've got no intention of going down the bottom as it's flooding as it stands, so we should have no need for any of that. And yeah, we're just going to keep going at it really. So I'll just swivel it round, get it on the rod tip, and then we can see how we go from there. Well, it's been a cracking day for sunshine today, that is a fact. It's been almost wall to wall. We seem to be in a bit of a high pressure to the north, which is sort of spinning round clockwise, which is drawing in probably an easterly or a northeasterly off the sea. So if it wasn't for the sun, it would be pretty chilly, and I'm pretty sure that it'll chill right down later on tonight. So I've got a few layers just to make sure we don't get too cold. My plans to fish while top of tide, and I'm not really expecting much at this stage of the tide. I'm hoping it'll be as the tide sort of calms down really. Oh, there is a cracking short-eared owl. Well, the wildlife tonight is magnificent, I must say. That short-eared owl is coming back. It is literally hunting probably no more than 30 metres away on the top of the salt marsh. That is fantastic. Absolutely beautiful, that. I'll maybe post some pictures of a short-eared owl for anybody who hasn't seen one, but that is just magnificent. So anyway, back to the temperature. Gonna chill down, so we'll make sure that we've got plenty of layers tonight. But at the moment it is really nice, it's beautiful. The river is pretty much flat calm. It's not there's no chop on it as such, like the wind's sort of coming from over my shoulder really, so it's making the river pretty flat. But I'm not really worried. If I was fishing somewhere like Easington, I think that does need the top on it. But down at Old Hall, you're here more for the run, I think, than anything else. But all that'll come out in the wash a little bit later on when we reckon up the final score, shall we say. That looks very much like a bite on that. Hopefully that could be something interesting. Let's see if we can get it in. well, there we are. That's what we've come for. It's a beautiful bass. 57 centimetres, so not quite the 60, but considering it's first cast and considering we're not really hoping for anything while it picks up, quite happy with that really. So that's a very, very good start, and long may it continue. I'll go put it back. Well, what a start to the evening that was. Absolutely fantastic. I thought I saw a bite earlier on, and it was while I was looking at the short-eared owl, to be honest, and it looked like it was rattling away, and the fish, it was well hooked, it was never going anywhere on that, but yeah, it just kind of bent over in the tide, and then so it looked like it was ready for swimming off, and started to rattle a little bit. So yeah, that was good. Really good start that. So I shall be letting my friend Michael know very shortly that we've got a bass first cast. So that's good. Plenty of wildlife about this evening. There's some whimbrel just gone past, which is, for anybody who knows the birds, they'll know it's like a little curlew, but shorter beak. And the thing about whimbrels is they're migratory. So you get whimbrels arriving in April. They spend a month or so on the Humber, feeding up, stocking up, and then they'll move off to the Arctic to breed, and then we'll get another sort of run of whimbrel back again start coming back in sort of late August, and they might hang around while end of September. But that is a classic springtime tune, like a little sort of a fluty whistle. Beautiful. All that just against the backdrop. It's not only are we having some lovely fishing, but it is against the most magnificent backdrop of the mighty Humber Estuary, and all that it brings with it, the wildlife, the fish, plenty of shipping going past. It is a truly fantastic place. Truly fantastic place, and long should it be protected and cherished by everybody, because it is such a wonderful place, and God forbid if anything happened to it. It doesn't even bear thinking about the amount of traffic that goes up and down that Humber. I know it's all done digitally and everything's under control, but it only needs one drunken sailor to mess it all up. Very, very finely balanced. But hey ho, that's the ramblings of somebody who's spent pretty much a lifetime on the Humber. It's a magnificent place. So, back to the fishing. The close-in rod's still fairly quiet. But what I'll do is I'll just spin the camera around, get it back on the rods again, and we'll see what happens. And as the sun sort of goes round, it's makes looking that direction a little bit better. I don't want to be looking into the wind really. It's a bit it's not actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a cutting wind, but it's alright. Just coming over your shoulder. I'll put 2 crab on again. Only little ones. Get it all well wrapped on. They are excellent crab. I don't know where Michael's got these from, but the scent is superb. Clearly doing the business for tonight. Yeah, so there's a little white in there just on my close-in rod. Didn't see it bite, and that's what I was saying earlier on. I've set up with my close-in rod on mono. There's a bit of tide, so it's bent over, but I didn't know that was on until I started to wind in. Whereas with the other one on the braid, we knew straight away that there was something going on. But shows the fish are out there, they're active. So yeah, 2 fish on the first cast of each rod. So very, very promising. I'm not expecting it to fish this early, but yeah, can't grumble. So I'll chuck him back and we'll have another go. The run is pretty strong at the moment, which is what you would expect for mid-tide. So I've got a good bend in both rods. I would expect if I get a decent fish on, it'll most definitely result in a slack line, I would have thought. But yeah, good start. 2 fish on the first cast on both rods. Not to be sniffed at. What I am surprised is that there's nobody here. That is very surprising, is that? So I thought there'd be more anglers fishing tonight, given that I think there was 4 decent bass come out last night down here. But yeah, I've had the pick of the venue really. I've just noticed there's a distinct bit of run that you can see out. It's about 60 yards out. So I've just done a bit of a gentle lob with that one rather. Well, that definitely looked like a bite then. So, well, it's gone slack. Looks like it's moved round in the tide, so we'll have a little look at that. Let's see if we can focus on somewhere down there. There's another bass. Not the biggest, so I won't put it on the measure, put it straight back. That was a nice bite, almost on bang on time. Water's just starting to sort of slacken off, the run's slackening off. So yeah, it's that's second bass of the night, third fish. Quite happy with that. There is a pretty good bite there, by the looks of it. Definitely. That is looking good. Looking good. Thought it might have come slack. Thought it might have come slack then. Still there. One more little knock. We'll have a look. Oh, I'm surprised that hasn't come back. That looked like it was quite promising. It may well just be sat on the bottom. Let's have a look. Let's have a little look. Well, I think it's on. Feels like a decent fish. Thing is, you can't let it give it so much on them rocks. So we've got to bully it through, really. This is a decent fish, I think. Well, that was a heart-stopping moment as the weed got stuck in, but clearly that is not a bass. That is a monster cod. A little bit late in the year for them. Who would have thought we'd be getting cod that size at Old Hall towards the end of April? Well, that is a beauty. Absolute beaut. That is a lovely fish. My guess it'll be around about £5, something like that. Well, what a bit of excitement that was. Absolutely cracking Humber cod at this time of year, on the backdrop of a gorgeous sunset. Winds dropped, there's wildlife all around me. That short-eared owl's just been back a minute ago. It is pure heaven, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, it wasn't what I was expecting. I was hoping it was going to be a bass that might have, shall we say, trouble the leaders, but unfortunately not to be. But very nice all the same. Very nice all the same. That is exactly what we've come for. Some good bites, good fish. And what I did have to do with that one, I had to bully it through the rocks, because the last probably 30 metres the rocks do shallow quite off, so I'm up on a little bit of a cliff, which give me a bit of height advantage here. Then I had a bit of weed in Milan, so I had to navigate my way through that. But having said all of that, still managed to get it in. And yeah, let's bring on some more. Still the best part of an hour, I would have said. So we'll keep battling away, and hopefully the night is still to produce something.
Fishing, I got me a line. Nothing I do is gonna make the difference, so I'm taking the time. And you ain't never gonna be anyhow, anyway. So I'm going fishing, and I'm going today. Fishing. It sounds crazy, I know. I know nothing about fishing, but just watch me go. could have been me. A whole lifetime trying to be what you think is expected of you, but you'll never be free. May as well go fishing.
Well, it's been a cracking night, absolutely brilliant. Two lovely fish in form of a cod and a bass. I'm still hopeful there's probably about half an hour left, just mindful that the light's starting to go, so I'll be packing away in about half an hour. But and if I get any more fish, I'll obviously put a picture on or whatever. But yeah, just like to say really thank you for anybody who's watched tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you can do the usual, like and subscribe to the channel, that would be most appreciated. But until next time, all the best.